Good evening, I'm David MUIR, and this is World News. Making the case. The Pentagon says one of the deadliest weapons in Iraq comes straight from Iran. And in Iran today, hundreds of thousands rally as their president defies America once again. And college crunch. Millions of families facing tuition sticker shock. Most are missing out on what could be the best way to save for their children's education. Our special series continues tonight.
From ABC News headquarters in New York, this is World News.
Good evening, and that is World News for this Sunday. I'm David MUIR. From all of us here at ABC News, have a good evening. Great week ahead. Good evening, I'm David MUIR, and this is World News. Tonight, terror threat. With fresh warnings about Al-Qaeda gaining strength, a reality check tonight. Just how serious is the threat? Signing off. A TV news trailblazer calls it a career after 35 years in a city where everyone knows her name. Why this local legend wielded national clout. We'll take a closer look. And unreal real estate. The most expensive home ever listed in America, 29 bedrooms. And the price tag? That's something else. We continue our series Going Green tonight with gridlock. Every year, Americans waste 2.3 billion gallons of gas just sitting in traffic. New York's mayor wants his city to become the first to cut traffic by charging a fee to drive into the city. But would it work? We asked Nick Watt to take a look at London, where a similar plan has been in place for years.
London's high-tech solution to gridlock has been called a great success, but it was not a simple fix. London's congestion zone, as it's called, bristles with warning signs and cameras to catch violators. Drive your car into the zone and it'll cost you $16 a day. The congestion charge was introduced here in 2003. There was some initial protest from people unwilling to pay for something that used to be free. But now, 4 years on, how's it going?
It's gone better than we thought it would go. It was an overnight success.
Initially, congestion dropped 20%. Traffic moved faster, harmful emissions were cut. Such a success, London's mayor raised the daily charge from $10 to $16, and this year expanded the zone. The system, which cost $280 million to set up, now generates $440 million a year in fees and fines. More than half of that is profit. And that cash goes to
London, on transport.
Officials in New York are paying close attention and dispatched a team to London to see how it's working. If they asked drivers, chances are they got an earful. Most London drivers still don't like it. This year, congestion in central London has actually gotten worse, up 4%. Average speeds are down, but city officials claim it's due to roadwork. London's mayor doesn't seem worried by the complaints, and next year congestion charging gets tougher. High polluters like trucks and buses will pay $400 a day just to drive these streets. Nick Watt, ABC News, London.
And this tonight, did you hear the one about two elephants out for a late-night stroll? It's not a joke. They escaped the circus. In fact, some teenagers ran into them on the streets of a Canadian suburb at 3 in the morning, and they called 911.
Police communications, Elliot.
Hi, we've found an elephant walking down the street.
I'm sorry?
We found an elephant walking down the street.
Don't let it cross the street.
How big are we talking here?
Like full-grown elephant.
Surely the dispatchers thought they were pranksters at first. The late-night fun was soon over, though. Police nudged the elephants back to work, back to the circus. As if you already thought home prices were going through the roof, have we got a listing for you? And finally tonight, the most expensive house for sale in America, ever. Think about what your ultimate dream house might look like, and then keep dreaming. While real estate in a lot of places has skyrocketed, one Beverly Hills mansion has set a new bar, $165 million. What does it get you? Here's Brian Rooney.
It's called Beverly House. 29 bedrooms, 3 swimming pools, a movie theater, and a disco. The backyard. It has a beautiful front gate, No, wait, that's the service entrance. This is the front gate. It's expensive, but the broker selling it will put this in perspective for you. Appointment only. Say for a moment you're penciling the numbers on whether you can afford this house at the asking price. You got some money, so put 20% down. That's $33 million. Finance the rest, that's $132 million at today's rate of 6.72%. That gives you a monthly payment of just shy of $854,000 a month. And don't forget the property tax, $1,650,000 a year. Brian Rooney, ABC News, Beverly Hills.
It's really something, isn't it? And if you're looking for more sticker shock tonight, we have other over-the-top homes you'll never be able to afford at our website, abcnews.com. And that is World News for this Saturday. I'm David MUIR. From all of us here at ABC News, thank you for watching tonight. Good night. Good evening, I'm David MUIR, and this is World News. Tonight, paying respects, now the funerals for the students who died at Virginia Tech. Justice delayed, an ugly case of racial violence in the Deep South. A mentally disabled black man left for dead. 4 years later, a court finally sends a message. On ice, hundreds of seal hunters find themselves in danger on boats trapped in the ice of the North Atlantic. And final edition, after decades of giving Americans a window on the world, one image at a time, the final picture for Life magazine. Good evening. We begin tonight with the funerals, a scene that will play out over and over again in the coming days for the victims at Virginia Tech. From the small chapel on that campus to the churches and communities across this country, families are now saying goodbye. For most of the past century, no magazine has brought the world more iconic pictures than Life magazine. And this weekend, Life is ending its run. But as Bob Jamieson reports tonight, not without leaving us with an incredibly rich diary of our times.
For generations of Americans, it was the window to the world. Life demystified far-off places. It brought home the sorrow of Franklin Roosevelt's death through the tears of a Navy musician, the tragedy and the brutality of war, the bursting joy of peace, the faces of American heroes. Ralph Morris, now 89, covered the space program for Life.
For 2 years, I worked with NASA about being able to put a camera on top of the gantry and man left Earth through the camera.
The image of Jimmy Doolittle's daring raid on Tokyo, the first inside Japan after Pearl Harbor, lives forever because of Morse. So too does the reality of World War II through a wounded soldier. Every week, America anticipated the printing of Life magazine's big glossy pages. At its peak, before the decline in magazine readership hit the industry, 9 million people stopped to look at history. Co Rentmeester went to Vietnam for Life, despite the danger.
I needed to show what that conflict of man against man was like. Nothing is more dramatic and shocking. War, the ugliness of it, the pain, the suffering.
Rentmeester was wounded during the Tet Offensive.
I had enough, clearly. I got away from that misery of war, and whereby I showed beauty of the country and of animals.
Life's pictures are not dying with the magazine. 10 million of them, many never before seen, will live on at a new website.
Photos have an ability to connect people to events and emotions that they don't remember otherwise. And, the internet gives us an opportunity to bring that alive in a way that was, unthinkable, 20 years ago.
Co Rentmeester's last Life cover celebrated the survival of a premature baby, dramatically capturing its tiny size.
The world is going faster and faster.
It's not the pictures that have changed, he says, it's the times. It's now up to others to record them. Bob Jamieson, ABC News, New York.
And that is World News for this Saturday. I'm David MUIR. From all of us here at ABC News, thank you for watching. Good night.